Let's talk about Group 17 vocabulary, starting with the word acclaim, which means praise, approval, approbation. People love ya. Ascertain means to figure something out. You know, if you ascertain the truth, you figured it out. Assertive means you are very confident in your opinion or opinions. You're very assertive. You lay them down, right? You're saying things strongly, not kind of in a hidden way. If something is bogus, it's fake, it's sham, it's false, like a bogus report. Cataclysmic means disastrous. It's just like the worst thing ever. Think about the volcanic eruption at Pompeii, which basically buried the town. That was a cataclysmic event. Circumscribe, think about drawing a circle around something almost like it's a fence, and you're kind of restraining or limiting whatever's in the fence. So to circumscribe something means to limit or inhibit or restrain. Complementary means go together well. So if two things are complementary, they kind of go together well and enhance each other. Contentious means there's a lot of conflict. So two people might have a very contentious relationship. There's a lot of conflict. It goes back and forth. It's a lot of strife. That's another one of our words. Disingenuous means not truthful, kind of dishonest. If something's disingenuous, you're not getting the full picture. It might be misleading, or it might just be outright dishonest. To divulge something means to reveal. So if you divulge the truth, you're revealing the truth, for example. Dogmatic comes from the word dogma. So dogma is those like rules that you cannot really refute or go against. So if you're a dogmatic person, you're very opinionated and nothing's going to change your mind. It doesn't matter how much evidence there is, you're going to insist on your opinion no matter what. Fallacious means incorrect. It comes from the word fallacy. Maybe not incorrect 100%, but definitely going down the wrong path, maybe giving a false impression of something. Basically, it's just not exactly correct. Foolhardy means reckless. It doesn't necessarily mean foolish. I suppose it can a little bit. It more means like reckless or doing something without thinking too much about it, but usually that could be foolish, right? Hinder means to limit or to inhibit somebody. Impair means to damage. So, for example, if you impair something, you hurt it or damage, or if you have impaired vision, there's something wrong with your vision. I'm sure that resonates with a lot of us. All right, let's go ahead and scroll down. To impugn something means to dispute kind of the validity or the truth of it. So if you impugn somebody's character, you're basically saying, hey, your character is not true. If something is incessant, that means it's continuous, it never stops. What would be incessant? Maybe like a noise that would drive people crazy. If you're inclined to do something, inclined, that means you're likely to do it, or you have a tendency to do it, or you favor it. Inveterate can mean like entrenched or deep-rooted or deep-set, very difficult to change. So if we say like the inveterate conflict, for example, or the inveterate hostility, it's going to be very difficult to change that. Miserly means a person who doesn't want to spend money. A miserly person does not want to spend money, extremely frugal, but in a negative connotation. Think about Scrooge, for example. Patent, if something is patent, it is obvious. It's there. It's right there. It's conspicuous. Everyone can see it. Petulant, acting like a child. A petulant person's acting like a baby. Whining when they don't get their way, whinging when they don't get their way. I think that means that's what whining is in British English. If something is pithy, it's very concise, very to the point, very witty almost. Not short in a bad way, but short almost in a good way, using just the right amount of words. I like to think of Mark Twain for that. Pliant means flexible, open to not open to interpretation, open to suggestion. If somebody has a pliant mind, you can maybe influence them. Sanctimonious means to have kind of like a very moral stance that's almost too much. Kind of like you're on your high horse. You're trying to dictate how everyone should behave. You're acting very sanctimonious. Sometimes it can almost mean like hypocritical, where you're kind of giving morals to everybody, but maybe you're not following them yourself. If something is sound, it's very logical, it's very reasonable. The argument is sound, for example. To tarnish something means to damage it or to put a blemish on it. Someone's reputation could be tarnished. Tepid means very lukewarm, not a lot of energy. Maybe the crowd is very tepid. It's just not giving the performer a lot of energy. To upbraid somebody means to like harshly criticize them or to reprimand them. Maybe they did something wrong. And then finally, vexation means like annoyance or irritation or exasperation, like you're just tired of it.